we are. Now I realize, why did my camera stop? Is it being picky or is it just, oh no? The moment I start, looking at anything, the tracking for the one thing I do goes off. What?
Oh no.
Jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, let me just reconnect that while we awkwardly start then. Ay, what a way to start it all.
Technical difficulty.
Who doesn't love scuff? Pa, pa, pa. All right, there we go. Now it's moving again. Now I'm moving again.
Nice, nice,
Ay.
nice.
Jeez. Well, awkward is as awkward does, huh? Ay. Well, as people start to potentially trickle in after being pinged at and all that good jazz. Welcome everybody to Big Sqk Inc. interviews, episode 41. And our guest for today, I believe you go by Alba, or who are you? Introduce yourself, little.
Yep. Hello. Yeah, Alba is basically fine. Uh, Given that NSP doesn't sound so aesthetically pleasing.
I mean, acronyms are acronyms. It's usually, nice to see the three letters in there and be like, oh, that seems important, huh? But might be a little hard to say. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue, huh?
Absolutely. Uh, Alba is just sounds more like a actual name that that people would believe that someone actually is named after.
Right. Ay. Oh, and we do got people popping into chat. Remember, anybody in chat, if you have any questions you want to add into the interview, feel free to just ask them when you can, and we will get to them when we can. So, to address, I suppose, what would be the elephant in the room for the difference in this interview compared to the others, I guess we should start off with the fact that right here, you don't have any sort of model or movement thing going on. You can just you are not primarily a streamer model or something that directly works with a lot of the VTuber tech, as opposed to instead being an artist primarily. Huh?
That's absolutely true. At least not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe someday that'll change, but for now, I am mostly an artist.
Hmm. So, seeing as you're speaking through the logo of your design, I figured we'd start the questions and just ask about the logo you. Well, I imagine you made, but I'm not sure. You make your logo?
Yeah, I make my logos simply because I am broke and I can't afford anyone else to make my logo.
Understandable and relatable there.
Besides, I like making logos, and yeah, if I make it myself, I believe that I have more control over how exactly I want to look at it or it to look.
Fair. And with that, control over how you wanted the logo to look and whatnot, are there any particular thoughts or design ideas that went into you making your logo there?
I mean, the logo you're currently seeing is the second version of the logo that I made, I believe, last year when I made a name change. And the general idea for the first one was that I don't really have or had an idea. And I mean, I guess I'm an artist, and I thought, you know what? Why not take a brush as a logo, and then my signature, and in the second iteration of the logo, the stars and universe background came into play because at that time I really like to draw. I mean, I still like to draw these, but I've draw these more often back in the days.
No, fair enough, fair enough. Especially when you're starting off and just being like, I'm gonna make something, not having an idea for the first one too much and just going along with it is definitely understandable. Oh, jeez. There's a thing I
I
forgot.
mean, I saw all these other artists have like characters as logo,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought to myself, yeah, but I suck at drawing humans, so that's not gonna happen.
I see. you know, fair enough, fair enough. Picking to, your strengths or preferences when making something up.
At least for the logo, for the actual art. I mean, well, you know what they say, you better get out of your comfort zone if you want to get better at something.
Yeah, fair enough is fair enough, huh? And hello, Rio, and hello, Jeannie. Welcome, welcome, both of y'all, to the interview. Once again, if you have any questions you want to add to the interview list, feel free to just pop them in chat, and we'll get to them when we can. Aye, so, I think that covers, the broad questions on the logo just for the introductory one. So, real quick overall then. Once again, as we are starting episode 41, hello everybody, I'm your host, Saruroku Giant Mouse, and, well, kind of a rookie artist at this point as well, asking questions around. And our guest for today, we have Alba, who you heard a little bit about their, icon, the logo at least, at the moment. So,
Hello.
welcome, welcome everybody once again. And now, introductions more or less out of the way. Are you prepared for what is usually referred to as the most difficult question?
Ooh. Uh, I don't know. I don't know the question, so I don't
You
know
don't
if
know the
I'm
question.
prepared,
You
but
don't know if you're prepared. Oh,
I'll
I'm sure
take it
this
as good as I
one's
can.
this one is like the very ominous question that is dreaded all throughout, though.
Ooh. Now you got me curious.
A lot of people get stumped by this very simple question. Who are you?
Yeah, who am I? I mean, I'm Alba, and first and foremost, at least for my internet appearance, I'm a hobby size artist. Uh, I'm 24, and yeah, that's basically everything to say. I draw big ladies in several different scenarios. And all, or let's say most of them, are very, very 18 plus. I don't know how far I'm allowed to get into detail. I have no idea about Twitch TOS and
Well,
stuff like that.
I know a lot of people push the line and toe the lines, but just alluding to the fact that it's 18 plus or not safe for work, probably better than getting into any details on.
Fair point. Fair point.
Mm-hmm. And I have a little note here. You did mention it, and it's right there in the logo. NSP. What does
Yes.
what does that stand for?
That stands for No Skill Pictures.
Oh.
Hey, I mean,
mm-hmm.
I know where I started, and I started out with quite let's say not so good art, and I thought, like, you know what, let's make let new people coming to my channel, so that they don't get their hopes high up and then shattered. Let's make it clear that I am very much a beginner artist, and I have not many skills. Back in the day, almost no skills. Like I said, no skill pictures, and yeah, let's make it clear so that they don't expect stuff that I'm not that's not going to happen.
Fair, fair. Gotta, set the standard somewhere, set the bar, huh?
Absolutely.
As you've been drawing more and developing your skills, though, have you considered, either swapping that around or changing what the acronym winds up standing for at any point?
I mean, that's basically a bit the reason why it's now NSP and not
Mm-hmm.
no skill pictures anymore, and the Alba. Because when I changed my name and drew the logo, I thought, I mean, it's still not top tier art, but I think I learned a skill or two over the months and years, so the name doesn't really fit anymore, and that's why it's now NSP, because I signed my every picture with NSP, and I was too lazy to come up with a different signing.
I see, I see. So just keeping it, consistent through that, then at least, huh?
Absolutely. Besides, it reminds me of where I came from, and I heard that that's something.
Yeah, making sure you know where you came from, seeing your progress along the way, and knowing that you've been developing those skills is quite something. Definitely something important to always be able to look back and see. Yeah, I actually have improved, isn't it?
Absolutely. That is one big motivation in continuing in art. Seeing, okay, 1 year ago I did this, and now I'm doing this, and 2 years ago I did this, and seeing the improvement really helps.
And it's definitely I mean, main way to improve at something is to just keep doing it, right?
That's what I tell myself every day.
All right. Gotta keep it up. Gotta keep it up. So good to hear that you keeping in touch with the roots, even though you're still pushing forward and growing on that front, huh?
What I gotta do?
Hmm? You do what you gotta do.
Yeah, do what I gotta do.
Do what you gotta do. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Next little bullet point I got. Just I just put size artist question mark to get the general category of questions going. So, I did mention that you do size art, draw giant and ladies and all that going on. Yeah.
Yes.
So, there's one question I wanted to, touch on there is there any particular theming or style that you wind up falling into as a size artist? I know you mentioned the not safe for 18 plus, for stuff already as well, but is there a particular, say, size range or general style of poses you like or whatnot?
And in terms of size, not really. I mean, it's all as long as the ladies are bigger than the men. Um, size is I'm having a hard time enjoying like universe size content, because a lot that it brings for me is like small people tall people interaction, and my brain just fails to understand how this is going to happen when one is like the size of a universe. I have drawn that, but yeah, that's probably like the tall it gets. You got it into some point where it yeah, I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. Um, I feel like what's probably, if there's one thing that I would say it's quote unquote remarkable, or stands out, is probably that I try to keep it gentle as much as possible, because I personally don't like when it gets cruel. Um, so yeah.
All right, so no hard preference for sizes, and sounds like you said, but you do somewhat prefer, interactable sizes and gentle stuff combined, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I know a lot of people have taste and preferences all over the place, so hopefully when you do wind up drawing, you get plenty of chances to draw in the categories you like, huh?
Absolutely. Almost exclusively.
Good, 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 good. So you mentioned going throughout that you've been drawn for a fair while now. You sounded like a few years at least.
November 2020 was the first upload of a picture of mine. Though I went through a little bit of a hiatus. Is it hiatus? I have difficulty pronouncing this
Yeah,
word.
hiatus.
Um, in 2021 because back in the days when I started, I didn't start with with size art, but with just general plain NSFW art.
Mm-hmm.
And that developed into a direction where I didn't want it to go, and I got a bit demotivated. And at some
Mm.
point, 2021, I believe was it, I decided to say, fuck it, I'll just do size art.
Okay, okay. So that with a little hiatus still puts you at around what, nearly 4 years now of drawing?
Yeah, something between 3 to 4 years, I would say.
That is a that's a pretty good amount of time overall, especially for what's going on in the world. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully developing that skill is going good because you mentioned you did have to do a little bit of a detour back into areas you wanted to draw, huh?
absolutely.
Yeah. So when it came to that in particular, was that something that you came across and realized you were unhappy with the direction you were going and made the active choice to shift to something else and just try basically try again somewhere else, or it just kind of naturally gravitate that way? How did that process go from a pre-hiatus to post-hiatus swap?
I mean, it was an active choice, and one that came to mind quite early. But I held back because I I always thought, okay, if I do size art now, what if people think that's weird? What if people come and say like, yeah, you, how can you do something like that? That's weird. Why are you doing this? And I forced myself through another couple of standard not safe for work pictures, but at some point I was like, yeah, if they say that, then that's it. But I can't continue how I did back then, and I'm glad I made the change.
Yeah, it's definitely even if it's a different particular telling of it, it's a story that I've heard quite a few times around where somebody's pushing through doing something that doesn't quite stick with them and they reach a breaking point and jump over to something they're much happier with. So,
Yeah, that's always a good choice, and that's also what I told me back then, that I start drawing stuff what I want. I took a lot of requests early on
mm-hmm.
because I thought, hey, that would give me a following and I can get big numbers. And I soon realized, yeah, maybe, but what good is a big following if you're basically pushed into a direction that you're not enjoying, and it feels like you need to force out your art.
Mm-hmm. Especially for art and anything that is, personal motivation driven. It's a really big thing to be able to draw what you want, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I mean, personal motivation driven is as of right now basically the only thing that I have, because well, if I would be success driven, I'd probably stop like 2 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of people who do just try to stick to the numbers and try to make it big do wind up fizzling out in whatever creative venture they go into, huh?
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, I can understand. I mean, it is frustrating when you upload a picture you've spent hours, potentially days on, and absolutely no one cares about it. But I mean, I still have the hope that at some point, with enough practice, it may work out. But until then, all I can do is draw.
Yep. Draw, draw, draw. And speaking of drawing, now I'm curious. I know a lot of artists tend to stick to one or the other, but I've also seen a big overlap with both. You draw digitally, physically, both, or neither somehow? How do you draw?
Um, Overwhelmingly digitally. From time to time, mostly due to me not having my drawing tablet all the time with me, I also do traditional art, but it's overwhelmingly digital art.
Alright, so overwhelmingly digital. Did you start digital as well?
I mean, that depends how far you want to go back. If you mean as NSP, as Alba, yes, I started out digitally, but I mean, I drew on paper far long before I had my first drawing tablet.
Right. Fair enough, fair enough. Um, you think you drew often enough on paper before the tablet that some of that might have transferred over to digital, or you think it's like two different worlds?
Ah, maybe a little bit. I did draw people on paper, not that many though. Um, but I would say it probably helped. At least it did not help.
It didn't hurt at the very least, though.
Yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. So having done both from one or the other then, and it sounded like you said, unless my brain's completely scrambling itself, you mentioned sometimes you do just draw physical because you don't have access to your digital tools.
Yes.
You find yourself having any habits where you notice it's like, okay, I'm clearly used to digital. You know how some people might go like, I'll go for the undo button. Wait a second, I have an eraser and a pencil, not a.
Absolutely. I mean, the undo button thing that happens to me way too often, far more than I want to admit. Um, But in general, I mean the blending modes that just don't that I just don't use can't use when drawing traditionally, because when I draw traditionally, I usually draw with just a pencil and not with color.
Mm-hmm.
The add glow effect, my probably my all favorite effect that to ever affect anything. Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah, I'd heard rumors about that habit and seen the occasional clip about it, but I've never gotten to ask anybody if that's actually a real thing. Huh?
Yeah, yeah. Another thing, the ability to zoom in digitally is so great, and yeah, that's not going to happen on paper.
You want to zoom in on paper? Well, you either just cram your face up, you bust out the magnifying glass on.
Exactly.
A whole lot of conveniences, though. I've definitely seen some, tales and rumors about a lot of the just the physicality of drawing with the actual tools and being able to, like, sometimes when you go take your thumb and smudge something, mix stuff, and a whole bunch of other things where it's like digital can try to replicate it, but it looks like it's got a whole different feel to be doing it physically. Huh?
I mean, yeah, digital technology has come far, but physical still feels far more direct. And like you said, like the thumb smudging is just I actually, fun fact, I actually looked for a similar uh thing for Clip Studio.
Mm-hmm.
like this paper smudger that professional artists have. Couldn't find anything. Um, but yeah, traditional art, it feels like the artist is more in control.
Hmm. No, I'd have thought that, type of smudge tool for that would be available somewhere. So if you search for it and couldn't find it, people are missing out, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of different smudge tools and a lot of great smudge tools.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a few months ago, I discovered this like uh probably like something what's it called like artist style mixing blending
Hmm.
tool, and that is fantastic for when you want to when you want to blend like skin colors. Uh, but like a typical smudge tool for pencils, I've not found.
Huh. Well, at least there's always, a tool available for something.
There are a lot of tools. It's glorious.
Yeah. So, next bullet point I want to touch on regarding art is I want to actually take you way back to, well, either 2020 or earlier, depending on when the influences actually hit you. Do you have any particular inspirations or influences that led you to drawing, especially as Alba NSP now?
I mean, as Alba NSP now, probably the fact that I had a lot of ideas that I wanted to see, but was too broke to commission artists to do it. And so I thought, you know what? I mean, I might as well try it myself and let's see where it's going.
The universal answer of, oh, can't pay somebody, better do it myself, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
I get that one, I get that one.
Hey, do it yourself is the most cheap way to do art. It's good for my bank account.
Yeah, yeah. So, I guess that was, the big primary factor then.
Yeah.
Um, hmm, I know, fair enough. I'm normally I'm fishing for like, what sort of artist got you into the scene in the first place or whatnot when I'm asking that, but you present a very valid answer where it's like I can't really argue against that. I do a lot of the same thing.
I mean, if you wanna know what got me into the size fetish as a whole, that's a whole another different story. But into doing art, and I mean, there are a lot of great artists that probably have influenced my decision. But in general, it was just that it was yeah, I don't have the money to commission people to do the stuff I want to see, so I do it myself.
Fair, fair. Well, I guess if we jump back to that, time and money wasn't an issue for one reason or another. Yes, who would be some of the artists that you'd have liked to, gotten pieces done by?
Oh boy, you've got time?
We got time.
um, I mean, in the 3D community, there's like Braden or Sile. Sorry for butchering these names, by the way. I have no idea how to pronounce them. Um, Jessica as well. Uh, they do amazing 3D art. In 2D, probably people like Not Bad or Discord, or Raps as well. Although Raps, for my taste, is a bit too much on the what did he say? Suggestive part, and not much on the nudity part.
Hmm. Yeah, the tone the line between the safer work and the not, huh?
Yeah,
I think I
yeah,
only recognize, one or two of those names myself, so definitely a lot of folks out there.
absolutely. and I could probably name a bunch of others as well.
Oh, why is my phone? It's nothing important. Okay. Um. Ay. All right. I'm still on edge, waiting for potential work calls, even though it's all wrapped up. On. Sorry about that.
No problem, no problem. Like I said, real life's always more important.
Yeah. So, touched on some of the inspirations and the whole do-it-yourself attitude of can't afford nothing, better do something. So, is there anything you'd want to tell people who might be starting the similar journey of like, oh, I can't afford it, let's just start it up and want to start off as artists to draw things that you might wish you've heard earlier yourself?
I mean, what I wish earlier had earlier myself, I don't know. My general advice would be like, just do it. Just don't expect to pop off immediately. I mean, it happens. I saw it on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
all around me basically, but it's not guaranteed. I'm still waiting for my big pop off.
Fair. I know some people wind up catching the algorithm by storm and just absolutely skyrocket, while others are, working at stuff for years and just doing their best.
I mean, not just algorithm. I think it's a lot. If you if bigger artists actually share the stuff you're doing, or not, I think that's a lot that plays into.
Hmm. Possibly. I'm not familiar with how a lot of social media actually, works when it comes to going viral or having the super growth, huh?
And
But
neither do I. It's
yeah,
just what I gathered from close to 4 years of art. I feel like it is easier, I have bigger growth right after a big artist shares my art.
no, it does make sense though. More eyes on everything, huh?
Yep.
All right, let's see. Oh, double checking my bullet points. Looks like we've got a little bit of a lull in here and something that has actually been requested. So, typically for anybody who's sitting in chat, I do have a section where there is open questions. So if you've been lurking and listening and want to ask anything in particular, feel free to. I need to bring up something that my fiance actually wants to ask pretty much everybody during the interview. So give me just a second to bring it up. Let's see. Here we go. I'll send this directly to you. So,
Oh my.
my fiance has a question. With these pictures of her dog, where do you fall on the mood chart?
Right now,
Yeah, right now.
I gotta look through the. I mean, tired probably always. I can't remember what the last day I wasn't tired.
That's a big relatable right now.
Um, yeah, from those on the chart, probably tired fits the most. Because I don't see any happy or excited, and I'm currently quite happy. Life's good.
Oh, that's fair, that's fair. Well, there's a couple there that could, splash into happy, but they're also, a bit like Gooby Schnoobert. What's that mean, Right?
uh, last one's those pretty fire.
I guess the one off on its side in the corner on its own.
Uh,
Just looking at this one, you feel intimidated. You feel as if you should not be staring too long if you value your life. Ay. Very dramatic.
Absolutely. But drama can be fun. Depends on the drama.
Depends on the drama. Dramatics are nice when you can do them, but I found I found most of the time, anytime I try to be, dramatic and play something up, people just absolutely crash into it and everything burns, and I just catch depression for a week.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
it's been a real unfortunate too, huh? Yeah, but having a good bit of drama is, there's a healthy balance to strike in all things, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I'm not part of the drama, everything's fine.
I mean, flair for the dramatic is, a different thing than, yes, criminal accusations as drama, quote unquote, huh?
Yeah, fair
Mm-hmm.
point. Fair point.
Because, I mean, if you just dramatically, be like, yes, over the top description of how much you love to draw a giant woman or something, that's dramatic. But it's not like bad drama, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Hey. Alright, well, seeing as, it seems folks are relatively quiet with the questions right now, we'll move on to the various things, unless you got anything in particular you'd like to bring up or ask about.
As of right now, I'm good to go.
All right. In that case,
Maybe later I get some questions to
mhm,
ask you.
fair enough, fair enough. If you get any of them, feel free to just, pop up with them all.
Yeah, will do.
Now, jumping into our next little category. So, you mentioned, lots of size art. I want to ask you about your experiences making art in the size community. So, in general, over your time as an artist, has there been any highlights or lowlights of your time drawing that you feel are noteworthy to share?
I mean, every time when a picture is well received, that is always a great feeling. Highlight definitely when some other bigger size artists are following you. Um, Other than that, my my experience is, yeah, pretty neither good nor bad really. Um, I have a feeling I'm getting pretty much ignored is a hard word, but I don't have much interaction apart from the occasional comment that I write on the other artists or
So
other users'
a bit
posts.
low engagement, you'd say,
Yeah,
or yeah,
yeah. Other than that,
understandable.
with those who I had longer conversations, they're pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's unfortunate that not too much traction with interactions, but at least the positive experiences, huh?
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's not in my hand if I get interactions or not. I can only hope for them, and if they're not coming, no point in feeding myself up over it. It's
True
not
enough.
changing anything.
And no interactions is at least better than somebody busting into your DMs and being like, "Oh, everything you do is awful, grah grah grah," right?
I that's I say that that's one example I always bring when that's the topic.
Ooh.
The one of the last comments I actually got was under one of my pieces was 2 to 3 out of 10, and I was like, I mean,
Wow.
yeah, it's I mean, you may think that, but that's not like I can't do anything with that. That's just, if you could tell me what you didn't like, that would
Yeah.
be different. But that's just 2 to 3 out of 10 is like not helpful.
Oh, jeez. I imagine that's the same type of person who, if you go, "Hey, that's not very helpful. Could you say something productive or just, can it?" And they would just go, "Ah, you can't handle criticism, can you?" Huh?
Maybe I didn't write anything uh down. The good thing for me, what is, it was a request by another size artist.
Mm-hmm.
and this person told me that it was great, and that's the thing I'm looking at. If I remember back, I say, yeah, but the requester thought it was great, so I'm happy.
Hmm. If the person who wanted it's happy, that's all good. Who cares what some random person thinks, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
And on the topic of requests and whatnot, have you done, well, it sounds like you've definitely done request work, but how much request work or commission work have you done?
Commission work, none. Request work, not that much. We're
Hmm.
probably not even into double digits because it is always a stressful time when doing requests.
I see, huh? Ooh. Any particular reasons when you do take requests or not then, seeing as it's a rare occasion?
When I feel like it. When I feel like I don't have anything that I can draw, and I don't know what to draw next, and I say, you know what, maybe people from the community want to know something I should draw, and then I just open up requests and maybe potentially, hopefully, get people to request.
you know, fair enough then, fair enough then. You gotta keep yourself drawn and moving, even if it's being stubborn with the creative blocks, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, fair, fair. In that case, well, on the rare times that you do try to take requests, do you have any, leanings or biases towards type of, requests people are making, what types of statements, or is it just, Wild West, whatever you wind up getting?
I have rules, and
Mm-hmm.
I also have limited slots because in my head, I'm afraid that all of a sudden like 20 people want stuff, and I can't do 20 requests. In reality, no, just not going to happen. But yeah, I do have certain rules. They do change from request to request.
Mm-hmm.
Package, let's say that way. They stay same for when they're open. Um, but it's typically not more than like one or two tall people, especially when it's a full body shot.
Mm-hmm.
Not more than like five tinies. Um, and try to keep it gentle. These are like the basics.
Okay, so a lot of just keeping it within your general wheelhouse and keeping it in reasonable scale.
Yeah, I wanna avoid something that the same stuff happened uh, that happened when I started with art, and I'm suddenly drawing all the characters with the request that they should all tap dance.
Right. Tap
Not
dancing.
going to do that anymore.
Wait, they were requesting that you draw somebody tap dancing.
Yeah, it was one person requested a character tap dancing, and suddenly every requester ever wanted tap dancing people as well. And not going to happen. I've done my fair share of tap dancing
Ay, ay, ay.
or drawing people to tap dance.
That is well, that just sounds like the oddly specific mess that some people, wind up going down the rabbit hole with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just scared that if I do no rules and then people do like gruesome stuff or brutal
Mm-hmm.
stuff, um, extremely gory stuff, and then people say, "Hey, look, that artist over there, that does extremely gory stuff and doesn't charge anything for it. Let's flood him with that." And then they get disappointed because my main output isn't that, and I get disappointed because everyone wants me to draw that.
Yeah, that's understandable. Definitely keeping it all within your domain and wheelhouse of what you want is tailoring your audience somewhat.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Well, that's definitely
maybe
fair enough.
that's uh, maybe that's also a reason why I haven't popped off yet, because it seems like those subgenres that are big in the size community are exactly those that I make big curves around.
I know in the science community there's a lot of, big pillars to avoid crashing into if you're trying to avoid certain things, huh? So
Mm, absolutely.
just gotta do your best to stay in the areas you want to be in then. Yep, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, from time to time, maybe from time to time, every once in a while, I need to draw something out of my comfort zone for the people who want that. But
Mm.
we'll see about that.
I feel like if you are stepping out of your comfort zone for people who want that, it's hopefully, somebody that you're like, ah, yes, I look up to them and want to, give them something, or like it's artists that you've seen for a while and want to, do something for. Because I imagine most random people, if they try doing that, that goes back into your people pushing the limits and then the tap dancing situation again, huh?
Probably, maybe. But I mean, there has to be some way to become an artist that can do that stuff, and I haven't figured out what way yet. And that's something I didn't or rarely uh, uh, tried. And I mean, I've given myself the liberty right now to also say no to requests.
That is a very
And
important liberty.
that is going to happen when someone wants to do something I don't want to draw.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it looks like on that note, we're pretty much reaching the end of the designated questions I usually have jotted down. So,
Mhm.
I have about, I want to say, 2 to 3 ish questions left. If you're wanting to get anything, asked yourself, you may want to sneak it in sooner.
Yeah,
uh,
or maybe at the end, where
well,
it fits best.
I mean, we're kind of at the end because I'm going to be talking about, future plans or whatnot and wrapping up. That's what I'm
Ah.
alluding to. So if you got anything on the mind, spring it out, huh?
I mean, how did you get into streaming?
How did I get into streaming? So that in particular is a bit of a it's a bit of a rabbit hole with a few swerves in it. You see, I start out and I'm, in university, someone who's clearly into size but not in the communities and whatnot, and I catch a stray video or two on YouTube of a VR chat streamer who was like, "Oh, this is, a sizey joke video going on," and it's like I start, looking around them. I spied over and found someone named Korean who I popped in on the streams of and kept watching along with a few other people through and through. And at some point I was just like, I want to try to make, a community like that. I want to try to do my best and, start streaming. So it was a size inspired adjacent where if not for the sizey stuff, I wouldn't have started it in the first place. But also, that was just kind of the kick in the door, mostly.
And it worked, I'd argue.
It did work. It did work, huh?
And did you immediately start out with your model, or did you start out
No,
as
I was modelless for, I want to say, at least a year. The first 6 months was purely just commentary over Darkest Dungeon. I didn't even have, a character or anything going. I had the Cursed Pingachu picture as a profile picture, which was just an old Pikachu plush I have with some of my hair hanging over one of its ears to be like, ah, yes, this is definitely me.
ah,
And then for a while I was, okay, I got a PNG, I got a one emote I could commission thanks to a donation on the first celebration stream. Let's go. Use
uh,
that as a picture and eventually made my own scuffed, 3D model based off of a VR chat one. And finally wound up saving enough to be like, let's get a good model of me.
yeah, money.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it was do it yourself until I could afford to, have somebody do it right.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
They cost a lot, I heard.
Depends on, the quality you want and the people you go to.
It's something it's at some point that I hope, not sure if that's ever possible, but I hope to be able to teach myself how to make a VTuber model.
Well, if you want to make a 2D one, that's a whole can of worms. If you want to make a 3D model, they got free programs though that are just all over the place to edit and work with.
Uh,
Because, I mean, have you heard of Vroid?
yeah, I have.
Yeah. A lot of people, before gave it a bad rap because the lazy people using it would just pick the default, yes, default male in hoodie gamer
Uh,
as that. But that program's got a lot of, depth to it, and a lot of people are doing real good work in it. If you just want to, make something, that's a good starting place because at worst you'll have a model that is functional and you can still, tweak things and learn from there. So it's free.
that's
I'd recommend looking into it.
that's probably then this. I'll have a look into it, and maybe who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually,
Eventually,
plans
eventually.
are there. It's just the lack of knowledge that keeps me away from it.
Well, this.
From Twitch, lack of knowledge from Twitch as well. I have no idea how anything works.
Oh well, there's a whole lot of things you could get into with Twitch, but at the end of the day, the long and the short is you open up OBS or whatever broadcasting software you want.
Mm.
You connect it to your Twitch account through like a specific key somewhere, and then you hit the start button, and then whatever happens from there happens from there.
And go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Maybe just double check the audio mixer or the visual sources to make sure you have something on screen or people can hear you. I know I've made my fair share of streams like that where it's like, okay, I'm starting up my playthrough today. All right, everybody, we're gaming, and it's been a black screen the whole time.
Nice, nice, nice.
Or the most cursed incident. I started playing
Oh,
Spelunky. I pinged everybody. 2 people resubscribed during that time, and I never pressed go live.
okay. Yeah, I can see myself doing that.
Right, right. So scuff happens in general.
Uh,
Ay,
yeah, what can I say? I mean, maybe next year with the launch of Civ 7, maybe that's the point where I enter the
mm-hmm.
streaming game, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Fair, fair. Well, with talk of, the far off distance of things, we're looking forward to. Do you have any major goals for like long term future stuff that you're willing to share?
I mean, if we're talking about being really dreamy, it would be nice if I could make a job out of my hobby. Um,
Mm-hmm.
or if at least it can financially support me in whatever is coming. Um, but that's probably still in the far, far future if it ever comes. So for now, it's just one picture at a time.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, in that case, a shorter term, anything in the immediate future that you're looking forward to, be it just, drawing another day to keep drawing or some other plan going on?
Connecting more with people, with other artists, with other streamers, maybe more fan art. That's something that I've come to realize that might help with visibility. Because as of right now, most of the people that I draw are like nameless characters. They're so original character they don't even have a name yet.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. A lot of people do wind up just drawing whoever they feel like drawing, so being able to ground some of your art with fan art tags and get people's attentions can definitely be a plan. Huh?
Yeah, yeah. It's it is more difficult. That's a good thing about drawing characters that don't already exist in one way or another.
You
You
don't
can
have to.
say, yeah, that hair, it has to be exactly that way. And other people can't say no because it's your own character.
You don't have to double check the reference every 5 minutes and be like, wait a second, what did I forget this time?
Yeah, especially when once you hit once you press upload and then look back at the picture and see, oh, I didn't color that collar or the rings or whatever.
Oh, there was one detail I was saving for later because I needed to focus a lot on, and it's gone.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. All right. Well, that sounds like got plans going forward, sorted, and plans and dreams. Got a whole bunch of details about the past going on. So at this point, we'll be wrapping up unless there's any last minute questions crossing the brain.
I'm good.
You good? All right. In that case, thank you everyone who stopped by, and we will catch you all later. This is the end of Sqk Inc. episode 41. Bye bye.
Bye.